Hello, everybody. Welcome into another edition of Indiana Sports Beat Radio here on this Friday, December 22nd, our last broadcast before Christmas. So Merry Christmas, everyone. Hope you're having a wonderful and happy holiday season. Indiana had a Christmas come early last night as the Hoosiers take care of business. Looking forward to talking about that. Bob Kravitz joining us on the program today. Zach Osterman on the program today. A couple of specials for you, and Casey Bartley as well. But Todd Leary not able to be with us today, unfortunately. But we do have Alberto Mendoza, one of Indiana's newest signed quarterbacks that will be coming to Bloomington next year to play for Coach Kirk Cignetti. So lots to get to. Looking forward to it. Of course, Indiana had no problems last night on the hardwood, bouncing back from that performance against Morehead State, in which they were probably lucky to hang on to get a win there. But last night was not the case. They take care of business, and a big reason for that was Malik Renew. Renew has a career night, which we'll go through his numbers, but the importance of him having that career night, I probably can't stress enough. Which Todd was here to talk about it, because this comes out right on the heels of Anthony Walker having a career Indiana night, and that comes on the heels of Trey Galloway having a career night. So you've got now three starters in back-to-back fashion having career nights. Malik Renew last night, of course, does it. 25 points on 10 of 14 shooting from the field. He had 7 rebounds for the game. He goes 4 of 4 from behind the three. Perfect. And 1 of 1 at the free throw line. So what an incredible stat line. He does all that in 27 minutes of play. So pretty efficient. What's able to get back to spreading some minutes out to get minutes for some of these other guys because of the game, although it was never – I'd say comfortably in hand. It was never, I don't know if you'd call it in doubt either. Indiana winning by 17. That final 83-66 as Indiana gets the win last night before they break for the holidays. They shot 53%. And again, a three-point shooting. We'll hear from Mike Woodson here in a second, but 12 of 24. Indiana shoots 50% from behind the three-point line. They almost hit, well, they did. They hit more three-point shots than they did free throws, although they had more attempts, but 9 of 14 at the free throw line for still a measly 64%. Indiana has a great three-point shooting night, but still shooting 60% at the free throw line. That's the only thing that's a little bit bothersome. The rebounds were even with North Alabama at 34 apiece, so Indiana not dominating there as far as rebounds. They didn't dominate in the paint. They outscored North Alabama just by a bucket, 32-30. They beat them off the fast break. They got 12 points off the turnovers, 13 turnovers that they were able to force. So Indiana doing a good job there. Backed up last night. Gabe Cupps has 5 points, 2 of 3 shooting, modest, nice, 3 rebounds, a couple of assists of the evening. So he had a good night as well. Mackenzie Mbako, 12 points, 4 of 9 shooting, 2 of 6 behind the three-point line, 2 of 2 at the free throw line, and 5 rebounds of that, along with a couple assists. Kalel Ware, another quiet night, 8 points, 4 of 7 shooting, 0 for 1 behind the three-point line. But Malik Renew was shining, so that takes a little bit away from him. He doesn't need to do as much. Trey Galloway, a semi-quiet night, 8 points, just taking 4 shots, 2 of 4. All of them three-point attempts, 2 of 2 at the free throw line. He grabbed 5 rebounds, so there's your starting 5. And Anthony Walker, another double-digit point performance off the bench. As he hits 3 of 6 shots for 11 points in 21 minutes. You're seeing plenty of Anthony Walker. Anthony Walker played more than Kalel Ware did last night. So take from that what you will. But Indiana gets back to the winning ways, and all these games, and as I said, having these players have their best games back to back to back like that has to be very, very positive, a very positive sign for Mike Woodson, because that shows that these guys are getting a little bit more comfortable. And then that allows you to have 5 different weapons, because you're always going to have someone to count on. You just don't know when it's going to be that person that you need to stand up. It was Anthony Walker the other night. It was Trey Galloway before that, although that came in a loss, I believe. But you get my point. How's everybody doing? Are you ready for Christmas? Man, looking forward to today's program. Of course, Bob Kravitz joining us in a little while. Zach Osterman on the program. And Alberto Mendoza will be joining us, as well as Casey Bartley from Boiler Upload. So we'll talk to one of Indiana's newest quarterbacks, signed on National Signing Day. So happy to get him on here with you. And hopefully next week, we're looking at getting Tyler Cherry on. So getting you introduced to everybody as quickly as possible. Hope you're having a great day and you're set for the weekend. Big weekend, I guess. John said, the boss said we're off Monday and Tuesday. So that the big 5-day weekend almost. Some people are having that. I got to be honest with you. I'm looking a little bit forward to it. What are big plans? I've got all my shopping done. Can't wait to have Christmas with Kylie. Looking forward to that. But we got business to talk about today. Looking forward to getting Bob on and getting his thoughts about everything as we go into the Christmas break. You've got the Colts, you've got the Pacers, the Hoosiers, and the Boilers all and Butler all rolling in their own ways. The Colts in the playoff picture, the Pacers, they're being the Pacers right now. It's still early, and but things have gone well for them thus far. Indiana maybe finding its footing as Purdue is just coming off of climbing back to the number 1 spot in the college AP poll after dispatching number 3 or number 1 Kansas, that is. So lots going on. Finish that statement, Alan. He says, good win last night, even with the opponent. Gotcha. Well, yeah, that's when it happened. Someone asked me that last night. Why is Indiana playing North Alabama? I'm like, well, just like every other team is playing Southern Illinois or whatever the case may be right now. It's that time of year. They play that they can not hopefully stretch themselves so much and get games out of players like Malik Renew last night. Get games like they did out of Anthony Walker to start their team. That's what the entire pre-conference season's about. Growing your team, because the goal is to get into conference play, Big Ten play, which Indiana doesn't do that until January the 3rd, as with a trip to Lincoln, Nebraska. But Brian says Purdue played Cupcake State. Well, you know what? Hey, Indiana's got plenty of those on the schedule. Everybody does. That's how it works. 5 lefts on the Andy Moore Honda hotline. How are you, sir? Brian on there. Fred says 10-3 would not be a bad record going back in the Big Ten schedule with this young team. No, because I spoke about that yesterday. If you go chalk at that point, then you're looking at a 20-13 record. But that's living dangerously. You're there now. You're putting yourself at the mercy of the selection committee. So holding serve at home is of great importance for Indiana. And then stealing a win on the road, much less 2, you steal 2, and that's a guarantee. You steal 1 is a probably. You don't steal any, then you're left to hope that being a Power 5 team with enough of a net ranking will get you in there. So happy holidays to everybody. Merry Christmas. Fred is on from Easton. Russell, Bob down at Georgetown. Gritty, Jennifer's on. Happy early Festivus. You know, on Festivus, they have airing of grievances, and I got a lot of problems with you people. I don't have the electric or the aluminum pole, unfortunately. Could not get that in the luggage, but hopefully someone else can have one. If John is out today, so Merry Christmas to John. I wish he was here to get that set up, the aluminum pole for Festivus for the rest of us. But always love a good Festivus celebration. I wish we could have. Maybe we'll have that today. You know what? Maybe we should do that with everybody. They say it. Well, it's pre-Festivus, but we'll have Bob air his grievances. See what Zach's grievances are. See if Alberto Mendoza. He probably doesn't have any grievances. He's very, very happy. He's just signed with his college football team that he's moving on to, so he's pretty happy. But maybe we could find something just to joke around with him. But Casey Bartley from Boil Upload, I'm sure we can find something from him. Checking on the Andy Moore Honda hotline. Mike, how are you doing, sir? Appreciate you. Jamie jumping on as well. Philip, Dr. Drew, hope everything's well. Howie, Forrest, Kevin. I think I've hit everybody so far. Some sliding down through there. Let's see. A few more good shooting nights. Well, Josh as well. Josh says a few more shooting nights will open the post back up for Ware. Right now, he's still getting double and triple team. If the shots are not going down, defenses will have to stop doing that. Well, there's truth to that. That has been a recipe that has worked. You shut their main point production guy in the paint down and force them to shoot the ball. If they start having nights like last night, then you're not going to be able to do that. And that is a huge point and a perfect point. Indiana, but you're not going to get many nights out of Indiana where they're shooting 50% behind the arc, especially on 24 shots. But is Indiana getting a little more comfortable out there? The guys that can hit them are getting more comfortable. Malik Renew looked beyond comfortable shooting those shots. He shot them like they were free throws, literally. They're just it's just an easy catch and shoot for him, especially when he is in position. So, yeah, I don't. Five S said I should challenge Coach Sig to one another in feats of strength for Festivus. Man, nope. He's probably in better shape than me. I can tell. If not, he would. Yeah, nope. I would concede that one, but good idea. I like that. Brian reporting that he heard the broadcasters say last night that X told Woody he'd be back in a week. Well, what is a week from now? That would be the game before returning to Big Ten play. And that would not surprise me, only because to get him a game before he gets back into Big Ten play. But we'll talk about that and much more. Bob Kravitz joins us next from bobkravitz.com. All of that and more. Thank you so much for being with us. We'll be back with it right after this. Robert.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good, man.
I'm trying to get my do not disturb is turned on for some reason. off. Boom. I'm trying to get my clock so I can see it, damn it. It's not showing me the clock. Boo. Well, what's new with you, brother?
Nothing. I didn't see any of the game last night, so I don't know how useful I'll be. But I know they shot well from three. That's about it.
I guess it was me that froze. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, you're fine.
What I said was I'll set it up to where I'll just set it up, but there's plenty to talk about. Purdue and the Colts and the Pacers going into the Christmas break.
Yeah.
The holiday break.
Sounds good to me.
And I think we can go. You ready, Freddie? No producer day.
Okay.
And back. Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio here on this Friday. We're calling it. It's not Festivus yet, Bob, but we're having early Festivus Eve.
Because okay.
Yeah, we're doing Festivus Eve. You know, some families do Christmas on Christmas Eve because
Right.
our family is so big. We have to do it on Festivus Eve. So welcome to our Festivus Eve broadcast.
Well, we do something called Hanumas. It's a combination Christmas and Hanukkah. It's Hanumas, and there is an airing of grievances. You know, the airing of grievances is a big deal.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. That's I don't. That would be a tough name to work all three of those in there. That may be a little convoluted, but I like Hanukkah. That's a great.
That's what my family is because I'm Jewish. My wife's Catholic. One kid's Catholic and one kid's Jewish. So we're all confused in my family.
Hey, you got to love it. You got all kinds of directions. I just told the peeps just before you came on. I go, Bob Kravitz will be joining us, and we will have airing of grievances.
Oh, absolutely.
That it would not be fun without it. But first, last night, Indiana gets back in the winning ways at a little more comfortably, 88-66 over North Alabama, which they didn't blow them out. They beat them by 17, a game that they were never in danger, but never super comfortably ahead is what you would say, I guess.
Well,
they were 13-point favorites.
I mean, you saw what kind of team. I didn't see a hell of a lot of the game, to be perfectly honest with you, but you know, I saw the stats this morning. And when you can hit, 12 threes? Is that what they hit?
Well, about 50%, 12 of 24.
12 of 24. Malik Renew hit a couple of them, you know, and that's not something you necessarily expect. He hit 4. So, no, they played well, and that's the kind of performance they should have given against Morehead State.
Yeah, and Bob, something that I picked up on is last night Malik Renew has a career night. With 25 points, 10 of 14 from the field. He was 4 of 4 behind the arc, hit his only free throw. So his shooting night was terrific. But that comes on the heels of Anthony Walker having a career night, which came on the heels of Trey Galloway having a career night. So that has to be a good sign, seeing three of your core guys. That Walker may not be a starter, but he plays as much as some of these guys do half the time anyway. So seeing three different people have career nights in subsequent games has to be exactly what you want to see, because that means guys are getting better, getting more comfortable, and you're going to have more options on those nights when somebody's off.
I just don't think we're really going to know anything about this team until Xavier comes back. I mean, look, Xavier's not an all-American guard. He's a good guard. He's a solid guard. We saw what he did 2 years ago when he pretty much single-handedly, him and Trace got them to the NCAA tournament. So I'm not ready to make any grand proclamations about this IU basketball team until X is back and he's comfortable handling the ball and doing the things that he does well.
Yeah, not only that, you have to talk about, even though he's been around the guys, been with the program, he's not a stranger, integrating back into this offense, because it's done. It will be different. It will be he's quicker than Gabe Cupps. He will take more shots than Gabe Cupps. He will try to get to the rim more than Gabe Cupps. So it's going to be different. The offense will be. That's just like a ripple, man. It's dropping a pebble in a pond. You're going to cause a ripple every time. So how that plays out as well for the Hoosiers as they go forward and begin Big Ten play on January 3rd at Nebraska, and that is not going to be that's a
tough place.
Boy, I bet you Indiana wishes they had a home Big Ten game to start with instead of starting at Nebraska.
Yeah. What's the latest on X and his return date?
We were just talking about that. There was a mention of possibility of him coming back in the next game, Kennesaw State, and that would make sense because I know you're balancing wanting to rest him through this period as long as possible before Big Ten play, but is a road Big Ten game where you want to break him back out? Probably not. So if they do bring him back, I could see him probably starting, but being really gingered, having his minutes parceled out.
Right. Be really cautious. Hell, as soon as you can get him out there, I'm all for that. I mean, I like Gabe Cupps, but he's a freshman. He's a small guy, and he can't play physically. So, as soon as they can get the X back into the lineup, that's a good thing.
Yeah, there's so many people that are anti-X, and Todd Leary put it perfectly the other night. He said, Gabe Cupps, Indiana only has 4 guys on the floor that are attacking the basket in any way when Gabe's on the floor. Nothing against Gabe. He's young. He's learning. But when once he brings the ball up the floor and crosses half court, Todd pointed out he barely touches the ball again. Right. And that's because he's just not a part of that offense.
No, he's not. And the sooner they can get X back, the better. I mean, I just remember 2 years ago, they get to halftime of that Michigan game in the Big Ten tournament, and X and Trace Jackson Davis go nuts in the second half, and that turned that whole season around and got them to the NCAA tournament. So, I think he can have that kind of impact on this team.
Mike Woodson, actually, he spoke about last night's 3-point shooting after the game, and let's hear what Mikey Bob had to say.
It's good to see the ball going home. When you take them, you're supposed to make them. I thought tonight we did a good job of getting the ball moving around. We had 25 assists. Means the ball was moving a little bit. The guys made some shots.
Yes, they got the ball. That's another thing I noticed the other night. There was a lot more ball movement with this team, with the offense. But there is a recipe, just like there was last year.
Yeah.
It is the exact same recipe. So they did not have to go anywhere. They just went back into last year's files to scout Indiana and wherever it said Trace Jackson Davis, put a line through that and put Kalel Ware in it now.
Right.
And we've seen the last couple of games, Indiana or teams just take him away. Kansas did it successfully, forcing Indiana to shoot. And if you can do that, it's shown that you've got a good chance to win.
You can't. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, this team, it just blows my mind that we're in the state of Indiana where we grow shooters, and Indiana hasn't had a decent outside shooter in God knows how long. I'm told Liam McNeely can really stroke it. But that's down the road.
We heard that about Mbako, and it hasn't translated completely.
Yeah.
Part of that, though, is I've got to give credit to him. As a young guy, Bob, he's not forcing anything. And that's usually something you don't see that kind of maturity in a guy. But Mbako still in double figures last night with 12 points, 4 of 9 shooting, so 45%, 2 of 6 behind the arc, 2 of 2 at the free throw line, and 5 rebounds. That's not a bad night for anybody. And as long as he can be one of these guys now that steps up and he has a career night, then you're going to say, okay, this team has got a shot.
Well, I mean, their front court is as good as just about anybody's in the Big Ten. With Renew, with Khalil and Mbako, but that backcourt without
and you add Anthony Walker into that,
and Anthony Walker, who's playing real well. But that backcourt's going to be a problem until they get X back. And
the backcourt is where your bones are made, to be honest with you. I mean, you win and lose games in the back.
Tournament. That's Purdue.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of Purdue, they go into they'll go in. I think they may have another game as well. But right now, the number 1 ranked team in the country for only the second season ever, I think, in their history. But are they the best team you've seen so far? Because they just beat Kansas. I mean, Arizona, Indiana kind of could have beat Kansas easily. They didn't look like the number 2 team in the country to me.
No.
And so it's going to take a team that has guard play like UConn is a team that I could see challenging Purdue because of guard play. But Purdue Purdue goes as Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer go.
Yeah, because you know what you're going to get from the big guy, and you know what you're going to get pretty much from their front court. I mean, what happened last year, and you saw it, Fletcher and Braden both went cold late in the season. And, even during the Big Ten tournament, which they won, they didn't shoot well. And I know in speaking with Matt Painter that he was a little bit concerned about that going into the NCAA tournament. Now, was he concerned against Fairleigh Dickinson? Probably not. That's a team you should win that you should beat in your sleep. But and they tried. They tried to beat them in their sleep. But no, I think Braden Smith is playing like a pro right now.
Yeah, he's been playing well. He's had games of 27 points this year. He's shown that he can score points. He can do a lot. And Mount Edie is a little more focused. I have not kept up with his stats. I'll be talking more about that with Casey Bartley later. But so we've got both teams are playing okay. Indiana State having a great start to their year. And a little surprising there, but so plenty going on and good in that. The Pacers are, they're probably right where we thought they'd be right now with this team. Last year it was a surprise.
Yeah, again, they're a game or two over 500. Look, they have shown they can beat the best teams in the league, and they've shown they can lose to the worst teams in the league. And the fact that they've lost at home to teams like Charlotte and Portland, teams like that's a bad sign. I don't think they are competitively mature yet. They're very up and down. So I believe they need to make a move. They need to make a move If Siakam is available, I don't know if Siakam would stay. The problem is you've got a lot of guys like Siakam and Anunoby who are both on expiring contracts. So if you're going to move a Matherin or Brown or whoever it might be, you want to be pretty sure that that guy that you're bringing in is going to be here is more than a rental.
Absolutely. Indiana football, well, everybody, college football national signing day 2 days ago, Bob, and Indiana had a very happy day. They were very, very happy with what they got. 26 kids that are signed. I think that there are 7 more that are transferring, but that are currently playing in bowl games, so they did not make them available. I'm sure some of them are playing for JMU, which it's funny how Kurt Signetti was a hero at James Madison just a month ago.
Right.
You had college game day there, all of this, and now he is a villain.
What's he supposed to do?
Exactly.
What's he supposed to do? He's getting paid millions of dollars more. He's going to the Big Ten. I grant you, Indiana is not an elite Big Ten program, but still, this is a great opportunity for Kurt Signetti. If he can get IU on the winning side of things, he can do whatever he wants with the rest of his career.
Exactly. I saw a great statement by someone on the Andy Moore Honda hotline yesterday, and I can't remember who said it, but it basically was said, hey, he stocked the shelves. He can take the groceries with him out the door. Because that's another complaint are the players that are leaving JMU, the commitments that are flipping. There have been a ton of commitments that have flipped. You also have a lot of guys that are transferring from JMU, so they're going to get hit hard. But guess what?
That's the way it works.
It happens to everybody. It happened to Purdue last year. It happened. It's life now, man. It's life. And I understand because, JMU is one of those schools. It's like Buffalo a couple years ago.
Right.
I used them as a great reference. I was like, who the hell is Buffalo? I mean, I'd never seen them in any rankings. And not only were they ranked in football, they were ranked in basketball. And I'm like, what the hell's going on there? Well, I'll tell you what was going on there. Lance Leopold and Nate Oates. That's right. What was going on there. Mm-hmm. Lance Leopold is now at Kansas doing well. Nate Oates is at Alabama doing well. So that made a huge difference. And so this past season, it's been JMU. They're ranked in basketball and had a great football run as well. But hey, that's the food of life chain, peeps. I mean, I know that it sucks when you're on the other end, but Indiana's been on the other end. They lost Michael Penix. They lost Kalen DeBoer. So they lost. You go all the way back to Sam White. It just stuff happens, but Indiana now not landing a high ranked recruiting class, Bob, but seemingly getting the pieces that Kurt Signetti wanted to get.
Well, let's see if he's right. He says he's not into the 3-star, 4-star, 5-star, that kind of thing. He wants guys who've produced. Now, just because a guy could play at JMU, does that mean he can play in the Big Ten? And that's the question we need to have answered here. He's got a lot of his top recruits from JMU, but that's JMU. I don't even know what league they play in, for God's sake.
Yeah, I don't either. And I've been failing to say, is it ASUN? I don't know. I think it might be ASUN, but earlier, that's why I didn't say the conference.
These guys, but I mean, it's a little bit like, just as an example, and hopefully it's a good example, all those players coming from Jackson State with Coach Prime. And, you wondered a little bit, when they're playing HBCU football, can they make can they play top level football at the next level? And they were. I mean, they were a competitive team, especially early in the year, beating TCU and stuff like that. So we'll see. It's going to be really interesting. Kurt is definitely a personality. That is for damn sure. Somebody asked him about why he's doing so well in the portal, and he said, "Well, I win. Just Google me."
Bob, you know that is already my favorite. If I had it on a T-shirt right now, which I'm trying to get those made. Seriously, I win. Google me.
I like it. I like it a lot. Now,
I mean, got an Indiana with a football that looks like, and I know his name's Signetti, but could it not also be Cigar? Do they have to? Because you're seeing all these cigarette memes, which I get it. I never thought anything would be enough to where you would use a cigarette as a prop in a positive way in this day and age. A cigar. I wish we could have went with a cigar. That would be great. But I've already got the vision of that. But yeah,
smoke them if you got them.
Boom. Oh man, laying them all out today, holding nothing back on this special Christmas broadcast.
There you go.
He's going to be a quote machine. And Todd, oh gosh dang it, Todd Golden was on with us, I think yesterday, and he said that basically he's writing checks right now, and they're ballsy checks, but he's certainly writing them, and he is. I don't know if he's doing it. I think partly because he actually believes it. So, and he has to believe it, but he more importantly needs his team to believe that.
That's exactly right. And I don't know. I'm sure you were here during the HEP years. HEP was like that too, writing big checks. And they weren't able to cash them until the last couple of years. And of course, he passed away, and Bill Lynch came in. But let's see what this guy can do. He's talking a big game, and if you're an Indiana fan, you kind of like to hear that. This whole woe is me, we're nobody, we're the losingest team in college football. That's not going to fly. So
no, because he's I'm one of the winningest coaches in college football. I think I'm 7th or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Good for him. I think Indiana needs that.
I agree. But since it is Indiana, I get the challenge, and you wanting to challenge your guys. Isn't that a little dangerous?
Yeah, of course it's a little dangerous. But what's the alternative?
Nothing. Yeah.
I mean, if you're just going to be quiet about it, and I mean, Indiana needs a cult of personality, and this guy, I think, is going to provide that.
Absolutely. Do not disagree with you. As far as the product that the guys he was able to get, it seems like a pretty good class for Indiana as far as pieces. This is not a class that's going to rival Penn State and Michigan State as far as the rankings, but Signetti has already gone on record saying he doesn't give a crap about rankings. He just wants the guys that can do what he needs done. And he got those guys. And he got them in abundance, to be honest with you, and especially in the quarterback's room, where he has an established veteran coming in from Ohio.
Right.
Now you have a locker room behind those guys of two top incoming recruits in Alberto Mendoza, who will be with us in the show today, and Tyler Cherry from Center Grove High School, who is looked upon to be a very, very great prospect. And you have Taven Jackson already in the wings, and there's one more that I'm forgetting.
I was just saying McCulley's back, so that helps a lot.
But then they've added wide receivers from the portal in addition to getting Donovan McCulley back, which is his biggest get. Yeah. He also picked up running backs in the portal, and you got Tyler back. That was a running back for Indiana last year. But they seem to have pieces in all of those places. The offensive line, of course, is probably going to be an area of most importance of improvement.
Right. Same as it ever was. The same as it ever was. Yeah, exactly.
Folks, you're listening on radio. You can't see me doing the same as it ever was. David Byrne was he chops down his arm.
You got a big suit to wear?
Oh man, that's one of my favorite videos of all time.
Yeah.
Just
The
that
whole
was
Stop Making Sense is one of the great rock great rock films of all time. Jonathan Demme. You got to see it. Yeah, Stop Making Sense by Jonathan Demme. It's a rockumentary about the Talking Heads.
I'm gonna have to look that up because they were different. We're gonna talk about being different, definitely different and unique. So that'll be my little Christmas list to look.
All right, do that.
To look at
that video.
What's up next for you, sir?
Well, we got the Pacers playing tomorrow. Big game against Orlando. Orlando is one of the best teams in the league, believe it or not. And then, of course, Sunday, the Colts at Atlanta in a must-win game. And then we'll just concentrate pretty heavily for the next couple of days on the Colts.
Sounds good, brother. Well, happy Festivus, happy Hanumas. Merry Hanumas, whichever, all the above. Happy. See, you don't drink out of the dreidel. Is the dreidel where the candles are?
No, that's the menorah.
That's a menorah.
What's a dreidel? The dreidel is that little top that you play with, that little game. So it's like a top. You spin it.
I've got to be honest with you. All of my Jewish heritage information comes from Andy. Andy. Yeah, no, not Seinfeld. Andy from Daggone It from Saturday Night Live.
And Sandler.
Andy Sandler, yes. Adam Sandler, yes. And I love recounting that each year, because you have David Lee Roth, who was born in Bloomington.
Right.
Very, very cool. So there's that. You got that going for you, which is nice. But and then how about the just rock and roll connection to Indiana? You got David Lee Roth that was born in Indiana, Axl Rose and Izzy Stradlin from Guns N' Roses up in Lafayette.
Yeah, right.
John Mellencamp, of course, from Seymour, lives in Bloomington.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Jackson 5, Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5 up in Gary.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where do you fit into that group?
I'm one of the great karaoke singers of our time.
Ooh,
not really.
What's your go-to?
My go-to is the Doors.
Oh,
anything Doors.
Nice.
I can sing the Doors I have the same tone. Jim Morrison, very tight.
I hope that Indiana makes the NCAA tournament for no reason bigger than
to hear me to people are strange.
That is going to happen.
Okay, all right.
That is going to happen. We heard that's a Christmas present in and of itself. We didn't get to hear any airing of grievances.
Well, I'll come up with some grievances.
We'll postpone the grievances until next week. But brother, have a great weekend. Happy holidays to you and your family. Thank you so much. You're a president in and of itself. 8 days in a row or 8 months out of the year. You're always a gift, and I
appreciate it. Have a great holiday.
Make sure you go to bobkravitz.com and give Bob a follow if you're not already. You're under a rock. But we've got more coming up. Zach Osterman joins us later. Alberto Mendoza and Casey Bartley. Back with more right after this. Well, my friend, I hope you have a great weekend. He's gone. How is everybody doing? Man, I hate not having Todd on today to talk about that damn game. Alberto Mendoza is fun to say. It reminds me of another Saturday Night Live character, Bill Hader, when he was on there. that would be something I could see him sing. Alberto Mendoza. We'll have to call in the big hitter. We'll have to call, you mean, yes, Alberto Mendoza. Justin says Signetti is now burning the LEO signs in the players' hands. No, they've just gone from LEO to go FY. I'm telling you. No, if there's a Hoosier that's still in the portal, and if there's any of prominence that you can think of, point them out to me. But yeah, if they're still in the portal, they've probably already been recruited over, number one. And I'm sure he was up front with them. Nope. I like mine better, Brian. Go FY. There's no way it's not go FY with Signetti. He seems like he came out of Brooklyn. All right, you guys, get your asses over here. And yeah, I'm self-producing today, which sucks ass. Watch your shekels. There you go, Tanis. Bob is awesome. Yes, he is. Well, Axl Rose hates Indiana with a passion. The state. What? Well, so did David Lee Roth, moved as a kid, but I had no idea that Mick Foley was from Indiana. Oh, we got to talk about that. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Indiana Sports Beat Radio here on this Friday before Christmas, our last pre-Christmas broadcast on the 22nd, with Christmas coming up on Monday. Is that right? Or is it Sunday? It's Sunday. Monday? I can't remember. One of those 2 days. But happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, but most of all, Happy Festivus. Happy Festivus. Let's have some airing of grievances. People in the Andy Moore Honda hotline, I need some grievances, man. We've got to have some merit because we can't have strengths of feet right now. I'm too busy being here in the studio alone. So the only strength of feet I'm doing is drinking this coffee. But if I had an airing of grievance, oh man, I should have planned that one out. I don't really have them right now. I'm just happy to be above ground. So let's see. Airing of grievances. And it's got to be real too. I love our audience, so that's not a grievance. They're all great. I'll tell you what I don't like, and this has nothing to do with Indiana. This is for everybody. I don't care if it's Indiana, if it's Purdue, if it's Kentucky. I cannot stand super fans that do not possess. I shouldn't say can't stand. That's a little strong. I do not prefer super fans who can't see past their fandom in recognizing thing where it's one of those things where everything is a foul and the other team, their team gets screwed every time by the officials. On and on and on. Don't be that guy or that girl, that gal. Just act like you've been there before. That's the thing I sent out about James Madison. The whining, and I'm like, it just reminds me of the phrase, act like you've been there before. You can't whine about losing a coach that gave you what he gave you. I'm sorry. Did you think that you had a lifetime lock on something? Did you have a lifetime lock on the coach you had prior to getting Kurt Signetti, who raised your program from the dead? No. I get people being hating to lose that, but it's like being if that would like be me married to a supermodel and then not. Yeah, that's gonna suck. But guess what? Just sitting around whining about it all day is not going to do anything about it. I'm not a big fan on whining. I guess that's my grievance. That's my grievance. So Brian says there's a pretty long list of Hoosiers still in the portal that haven't been picked up. John jumping on from the great city of Cincinnati. Wish we were on WKRP there. Mike said he graduated with a Ruben Mendoza, but he likes Alberto. I can't roll my tongue this morning. Yeah, it's too early in the day. But Signetti from Brooklyn has come to catch the Utes. Yeah, he is. What do they call those guys where he's from? I forgot that name from those Pittsburgh types. Yeah, somebody pointed out Mick Foley born in Bloomington. I did not know that. Yeah, I did not know that. That means not only was Mick Foley born in Louisville in Bloomington, so was the Hand. So there's a bonus. You get a double bonus with that. Why is Juwan Howard still coaching at Michigan? Well, Michigan has a little bit of trouble going on in a lot of places right now, if you haven't noticed. They've got coaches in turmoil in both of their major sports. Of course, Jim Harbaugh embroiled in a sign-stealing scandal, but has his team primed to play in the college football national championship. So you get a little grace with that. But Juwan Howard, he's not going to get that same grace for very long. He has not won at Michigan. I mean, he's been okay, but he hasn't done anything special, and he's really been involved in some high-profile negative outcomes. You know, he's got another one going on with the beef with the strength and conditioning coach. He you know, the on-court stuff from being suspended prior. Michigan, boy, they've got some characters up there, with no doubt. But will he finish the season? Who knows? Speaking of finishing the season, will Kenny Payne finish the season? Louisville, of course, took a beat down. Exactly. Whoops, cream and crimson glasses, but every school has them, whether it's blue and white or red and black, whatever the colors. Everybody has those fans, so it's not anyone specific. Kentucky puts a beat down on Louisville last night, but that was completely expected. As Kentucky is playing well right now, and Louisville is playing as bad. It's things are not going well. I don't know that Kenny Payne makes it to the end of the season. But the thing about it is it's worth $2 million to Louisville. His buyout goes from $8 million to $6 million on March 1st. So they're not making the tournament. Why would you not wait? I think it would be a poor business decision in this day and age of college athletics, where we see so many buyouts, dead money, when nothing is going to change for Louisville this season. Why would you do it? You're not going to get a coach hired in that period of time. You're not going anywhere in March anyway. Ride the season out, man. Why is it to say it's is it him for sure? I know he had an issue with one of his players, and they had a weird deal with that on how it was handled, which it was not handled well. So thank goodness it's someone else, but it shows you it happens to everybody. It happens to them all. We've got to take a break. When we come back, Zach Osterman will be joining us from the Indy Star. Alberto Mendoza on the program as well, and Casey Bartley as we head off into this holiday season weekend on this Friday. Back with more Indiana Sports Speed Radio right after this. Alberto Mendoza. I'll be do. You can count on me. I'll be home for Christmas. But first I have to pee. What the hell was I looking up? Doggone it. ADHD brain. Yenzer. Thank you, Philip. Yenza. Daggone it. Oh, where are we? Just producing crap. All right, we're going here in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, Indiana Sports Speed Radio on this Friday before the Christmas holiday weekend. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy Festivus. We've got it all going on right now. I need some grievances. Justin Kalen, what? Give me a grievance, man. Give me something. I gotta throw up a comment. I gotta have something to bounce us off of. We're waiting on Zach Osterman to hopefully join us here as Indiana coming off of a win last night over North Alabama. One more game left for the Hoosiers in their pre-conference, non-conference schedule. That is with Kennesaw State, rather. And then they head into Big Ten play on January 3rd as they travel to Nebraska. And trust me, they need to be playing as well as they can when they get out there. I know that Nebraska does not strike fear in a lot of people's hearts, but they are playing better basketball than they have in a couple of seasons past. And we'll see. That's a dangerous place to go. It's just one of those places where you don't naturally get psyched up for, jacked up. And if you don't, man, you can sure get caught. I mean, that can be a trap game very easily for the Hoosiers, and they cannot afford that this year. They, as I said earlier, they have to steal a couple of games on the road. This is one of those games that would be a great road win. I know it's not a ranked team or any of that, but if you lose, man, it's just it's a lost opportunity against a team that is not the caliber of the many others that you're going to see on the road. So whenever any of these opportunities that come up on the road, whether it's Nebraska, whether it is any of the other Northwestern or Penn State, all of those you've got to ride and get those under your belt, and then hope for and then hope to hold serve at home over the course of the season to head into the NCAA tournament. The Big Ten is not looking strong right now, so it's not like Indiana is going to be able to base this great resume off of Big Ten play. Maybe if you finish in the top 3, maybe 4, that'll be a great help. But they do not have a signature win right now, and there's going to be very few opportunities for that, to be honest with you. You've got Purdue, who's ranked. You've got Illinois, it would be a solid win. They've beaten Michigan, but that's we'll see how that ends up going. But you have to win the ones that you have to win, and you can't lose the ones that you're absolutely not supposed to. So, Sid, not a fan of the not karaoke, but the serenade in the break. Man, I thought I was rolling, Sid. Daggone it. Just kidding. I couldn't carry a tune in a bucket if you gave me 4 hands. Trust me. John says, so Indiana is so consistently inconsistent that definitely was not the identity of this team, more of a fluke to him. However, it was nice to see good ball movement for the most part. Well, that's the key. If they don't have good ball movement, it's not going to be consistent. They're not going to have good nights. It's something I talked about earlier that I had noticed in the last couple of games, that their ball movement was much better. But that also will improve when you have Xavier Johnson back. He's a big key to that. He is quicker. He's faster. He pushes the tempo. He pushes the level of play. Again, I hate to beat a dead horse. It's not mine. Todd brought this point up, but again, right now, Gabe Cupps comes up, brings the ball up the floor, and once he gets rid of it after crossing halftime, he doesn't touch it again because he's not part of that offense. And now, in essence, you're playing 4-on-5 against teams if you do not have 5 guys that are capable of scoring or capable of really putting a threat into scoring, whether it's getting to the basket, whether it's pulling up to hit a jumper. And Xavier can do that. He is a threat to do that. He's much quicker with the ball, and Indiana hasn't lost a ton on defense with Gabe, but they still pick up with Xavier without question. And it'll be interesting to see what this team looks like when he comes back. He is going to have to knock some rust off without question. But they have to get better. There's without question, but there's no reason not to think that they can't. They've given you indications here in the last 3 games, as a matter of fact. Like I said, when you have 3 different guys have career nights, that's improvement. That's getting better. That's more comfortability. And along the way, some of the things that fell into that, last night it was 3-point shooting. It is not going to be every night that Indiana puts up 24 3-point shots, and it damn sure is not going to be every night that they hit 50% of those. They don't have to, though. With this inside game, if they can get it figured out, because teams are going to trap and attack Kel'el Ware. He's either got to be able to learn how to quickly pass out of that situation, or Indiana has to be ready to counteract that as fast as possible. They've got to get to that point to where they can counteract it as quickly as possible, because if they do that, that's going to open up Kel'el Ware, because they won't be able to continue to do that. Teams are forcing Indiana to beat them without their number 1 scorer, and it hasn't worked exactly. It did work for Kansas. They were able to do that, although Indiana still could have easily won that game. That game, to me, came down to Indiana's turnovers and missed free throws. Free throws are something. You want to talk about grievances of Indiana fans should be Indiana's free throw shooting. It's ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous. Free throw shooting, I still think is mental. Todd believes it is more form, and I defer to someone who knows so much more to me, to Todd. But there's no way that the mental part of this does not come into play, because he talks about Trey Galloway, his confidence being shot just on the 3-point shooting. Well, I guarantee it's also shot at the free throw line because he's hitting like 50%. So it's in his head. It's already in his head. And getting that out is very, very difficult to do. But when you're a starter, a leader, you have to do that. You have to have that mentality that Todd talks about, that shooter's mentality. And I'm not saying he has to shoot the ball all the time, but you have to have the ability that it doesn't matter. Your next one's going in. Whether you're putting up 1 or 5 in a game, you have to have that mentality. Same thing at the free throw line. They've got to stop thinking about it and just, if they're shooting them correctly, they're going to go in. Mackenzie Mbako, great form, consistent every time. Just boom. Gabe Cupps is another one. So you've seen growth in Indiana. I don't know how good this year is going to turn out. I'll be completely honest with you. I don't have a crystal ball, but I do think and know that the future for Indiana, which I hate saying stuff like that, but fans don't want to hear about the future just yet. But the future for Indiana, I think, is over the next 2 years is going to be outstanding. They already have Liam McNeely coming in. I can't predict that they get Derek Queen, but I think that they get Derek Queen because the job that Indiana has done developing their bigs, and the fact that Khalil Ware probably won't be in Bloomington next year, and that will give a spot for Derek Queen to slide right into. And it would be a very much needed get. It would also give another recruiting win, but recruiting wins only go so far. You've got to win on the court. But getting those 2 guys will be huge. And then the following year is when I think Indiana starts to make hay with a couple of in-state guys. They are hot on the heels of Trent Sisley, hot on the heels of Jalen Harrelson, hot on the heels of Malachi Moreno, who's from Lexington, Kentucky area. But they all play on the same AAU team. And boy, I could see those guys playing together. And now when you're combining all of that talent, the guys that you get this year when Liam McNeely comes in, and if Derek Queen comes in, and if they're there for its second year and you have that next class come in, now you're getting talent on top of talent. Indiana just hasn't done that. They have not stacked talent. And that has really hurt them. They got a great pickup with Anthony Walker, who is proving with each passing game to be a much more important part of this team than people had thought. But that's what you have to wait to see what happens and how things roll out. Anthony Walker showing that he's in it to win it. And his play it was long before having the breakout game the other night. He had been impacting games. Caleb Banks who was kind of that guy last year, not to this level, has kind of taken a step back in a lot of ways. And I don't know why, but there's no question that he has taken a step back as far as his production and what he's doing on the floor. He fouls a lot, and he had 5 points on 2 of 6 shooting last night. He attempted 3 triples, and he hit 1 of those, 0 for 1 from the free throw line. 4 more personal fouls in 17 minutes. He had 1 rebound. He is fouling a ton, especially if you look at it from a per minute standpoint. And A, does no good if you can't be on the floor. B, it does no good if when you're on the floor, you're not doing much. 1 rebound and 5 points in 17 minutes itself is not something bad, but it's those 4 personal fouls. Why are you fouling so much? Putting the other team at the line, giving them opportunities. So he's kind of regressed a little bit, in my opinion. Then you've got, of course, CJ Gunn. Last night, he had 4 points on 2 of 6 shooting and a rebound, an assist, 2 personal fouls. He plays 20 minutes last night. If you're playing that much, you'd like to see 4 more points. Again, I know this comes on a night when Malik Renew was just killing it. He put up 14 shots. So a lot of those are going to him. Mackenzie Mbako puts up 9 shots where he hits 4 of those. So it's a good night for him. But you need to just a little bit. It's just this little bit. That's the thing. It doesn't take much. But if you're not getting that little bit from this guy or that guy, then you don't have it. You don't have that ingredient, and that missing ingredient is going to definitely affect the Hoosiers. We've got to take a break. Up next, joining us, one of Indiana's newest quarterback recruits, Alberto Mendoza, joins us. Stay tuned. You're listening to Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Back with more right after this. Alberto, how are you, sir?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Great. Would you mind turning your camera sideways, or your phone, rather?
Whoa.
It just fills this. Oh, you don't have yours on auto rotate.
Hold on. I can fix that.
Yeah, it
There
fills
we go.
the screen
There
up
we go.
for it.
There we
There you go. There you go. Are you in Miami, I guess?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I'm actually not too far from you right now. I'm
Really?
out of town. I'm at Cape Coral.
Really? Okay. Yeah. It's a little further up north, but yeah.
Yeah, it's probably what, 2.5, 3 hours away.
Yeah, I've never been there. I think so. I'm pretty sure. Well, where's it by?
Yeah. Fort Myers.
Okay. Yeah. That is on. Yeah, I've never been to Cape, but yeah.
A good year for you, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Good couple of
Yeah, I
years,
mean,
actually.
Yeah. I've started 2 years, won 2 state championships, so can't complain about that.
What did your I better save that question. That was a good one. The bling, baby. You're already getting the bling.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm ready to get some more in Indiana.
Ooh, look at it. They're gonna love. Only person that's more confident than you is Signetti.
He's very confident. He's definitely very confident.
All right, brother, you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, just 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio, here on this Friday before Christmas, December 22nd, and we have a Christmas present for you to open up here. One of Indiana's newest commitments at quarterback from Columbus High School in Miami, Florida, Alberto Mendoza. Alberto, how are you, sir? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Man, it's a pleasure. What a whirlwind it's probably been for you. The recruiting world is always a big circus and lots going on, but so much change toward the end with Kurt Signetti changing jobs to Indiana that opened up some opportunities for you, and which one obviously that you were happy to take, and coming to the Big Ten now. So can you imagine, although you've had a couple great last couple of years, and we'll talk about that, but you're going to be going from playing in your last game, the state high school game, to playing in the Big Ten. That's just the thought of that. What's that thought process like?
I mean, I'm excited. I mean, South Florida football is the highest level of football in the United States. So it's not going to be as hard as a transition as some other guys, but I think that it's obviously a big transition from high school to the Big Ten. The Big Ten's amazing. I'm very excited to play in the Big Ten, and I'm ready to get after it. I'm excited to get up there and work, get after it. I just want to get there already, learn the playbook, get with Coach Owen, start putting on some muscle and weight. So yeah.
Your confidence level is up there with your new head coach, Kurt Signetti. Obviously, a very confident person. He is putting out this very, very confident vibe. Some of his comments they're great. The other day, my favorite one already now going for the rest of the next season has got to be, I win. Google me. I don't know if you saw his press conference or see that stuff.
I saw it. Yeah,
but
I saw it.
When you see that kind of thing, what do you think about?
I like it. I think he's a confident coach. He's won at many places. He has the right to say that because he's won so much. And yeah.
Well, and you have
sorry.
No, I was just saying you have that same level of confidence, but that's because you also have been winning where you've been. You've won back-to-back state championships, and as you mentioned, it's in South Florida. Not exactly an easy place to win, and to do it in back-to-back seasons. First of all, congratulations, and what a feeling that has to be to back up getting that first one.
Yeah, I mean, it was just great because they're two totally different teams, and just to be able to put together two different games in the state championship games, back-to-back years is just amazing. To be able to go back-to-back because it's so hard down here. We have so many great athletes. Every team we play has some guys going to the next level. There's not a team we didn't play that didn't have a guy that had a lot of scholarship offers or opportunities or is committed to go play somewhere. So we're always playing the highest level competition down here. There's never really an off game, especially with our schedule. So it's always great competition, and yeah, it's great to be able to win down here in South Florida where there's so much talent.
And playing in those games, that's the highest level that you could play in before you go to college. A state championship game in a state that is one of the football. You've got Texas, you've got Ohio, you got Pennsylvania, you've got Florida. Those are probably the four state, what you would call football states in the country, just from way back. But playing in that kind of environment, what has that done to train to help you as you look forward to moving to the next level?
I mean, yeah, we've had some big crowds and stuff. Nothing like the Big Ten, obviously, but just the way the defensive backs especially fly around. I know the up front is going to be a completely different game because once you get to that level, like it changes drastically. But the DBs in Florida and the receivers are just they're different breeds. They're fast, they're quick, they have great ball skills. So just be able to, especially our DBs in practice, we go against some great DBs every single day. That we have a couple of DBs with Big Ten offers. So I go against them every day. So being able to play against Big Ten caliber players in practice every day just gets me better, and it's just I'm ready to go.
Last year, you won the quarterback battle to be the starting quarterback as a junior, and you took over for your older brother at that high school. What was that like for you?
I mean, it was great. I backed up my brother, myself. That's obviously why I didn't play. He's at Cal Berkeley now as a starting quarterback there. And I backed him up. I learned a lot from him. So it was good to be able to learn behind him, learn the offense, develop, get bigger, stronger, pick his mind for anything that I was still trying to figure out. So just be able to sit that year. A lot of people be like, "Oh, you sat your sophomore year. I don't know about that." But at the end of the day, if you're a playmaker and you're a baller, they're gonna find you. So it doesn't matter you play 4, 3, 2, or 1 year. As if you're balling, they're gonna find you. So yeah, I wouldn't worry.
Absolutely. And you talk about that. Obviously, you've been playing at a high level. Your teams are playing at a high level, and everyone is looking forward to carrying that over. Whether you're a player or a coach at Indiana, the coaching staff coming in from James Madison, where they have had success. Of course, Coach Signetti having had success there. Tino Sunseri, tell me about you're dealing with him, because they've done a great job working with quarterbacks. I know that was a very important part for you.
Yeah, that's definitely Coach Siri does a great job of developing quarterbacks. You see the past quarterbacks he's developed at JMU. I've been Summer Player of the Year. So being able to see how he develops quarterbacks, and I want to be developed as a quarterback. I know I'm very far from my roof or my ceiling, so I want to go somewhere that I can develop as a quarterback, have a good system, because JMU's offense, like last year, is very similar to my offense: 11 personnel, 10 personnel, 12 personnel. So just be able to go to somewhere that's similar with great coaching and the history of great development is just a great opportunity for me, and I'm very excited about it.
Well, Coach Signetti has said, hey, every position is open. And so there will be obviously a quarterback battle when you get here. This quarterback's room is going to be full of some very, very capable competitors. Yourself, of course, Tyler Cherry, of course, daggone, I'm blanking on his name, from Ohio. Rourke coming in as well, and Taven Jackson, who's in place. What do you look forward to in that battle? You've gone through those battles before, and did that get you ready for this?
Yeah, I look forward to competing, because competing at the end of the day makes me better. Makes me a better quarterback, pushes me to work hard, it pushes me to do that. And just being able to compete, it's an amazing opportunity. I mean, I wouldn't want it any other way. I wouldn't be the quarterback I was today if I didn't compete going into my junior year. I wouldn't be anywhere close. So the opportunity to compete, push myself, push the other guys. I haven't met them yet. I'm sure they're great guys and super nice, so I'm excited to meet them and just be able to. At the end of the day, the best guy's gonna play. So I'm ready to get in there, work my butt off, and do everything I can do to become the best quarterback I can be. At the end of the day, it's about me. It's not about them. So just pushing myself every single day to the best I can be. And if that's the best quarterback in the room, then so be it. If it's not, it's not, So I'm just ready to put my best out there and do everything I can in my power, and to be able to be the starting quarterback and control the controllables,
It's obvious to see why you were such desired. Just your mindset, your abilities have already been showed, but your mindset is exactly what a coach would want to hear. You've sat out as a sophomore watching your brother play, and what did you learn when you were on the side, when you were in the waiting in the wings type of thing?
I learned a lot. I learned how to read defenses, how to analyze defenses, how to match my drops with the routes and just different things like that. And my brother, we would always watch film together on how he watches film, what he looks at, does different stuff. So it definitely helped a lot being able to because we obviously same school. I would go to school with him. We would lift early in the morning, and we would have to practice in the afternoon. So I was with him 24/7. We would wake up together, do everything together, and just being able to be with him, learning, seeing his habits, seeing how he got where he is right now, it's just amazing. So yeah.
What are you looking forward to? You're coming to Bloomington early, right? You're going to be a mid-season enrollee.
I'm not.
You're not. Okay, you're not. And so you'll continue to work on your own through the spring. What about Indiana and this coaching staff was it that led you to pick Indiana?
I already had a great relationship with the coaching staff that was at JMU, obviously, who's now in Indiana. So it was really just seeing that if I liked Bloomington, and I did when I went up there on my official visit, I definitely liked it. So that was the biggest thing. But just a relationship I've built throughout. They started recruiting me probably last summer. So last summer or for like very early spring. So I've developed a great relationship with Coach Siri, Coach Shanahan, and Coach Ignetti. So I have a lot of trust in them, and I think they're great coaches. They have a lot of experience, and they put a lot of winning teams together. So yeah.
We're having some fun today too. I just realized this. Jesse Eisenberg, he played. You probably never saw the movie social media about Facebook, but he played Mark Zuckerberg in that. And for odd reason, he lives in Bloomington. Hard to believe. Just a little trivia there for you. See, because you don't that way you can know things when you get to Bloomington. How important is it to you to be a part of the university, to be a part of the town? It's a college town. It's a typical great Big Ten college town with all kinds of different events and successful sports. How much are you looking forward to being a part of that entire experience?
I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. Just the atmosphere, the Big Ten atmosphere, college town, all the students who go crazy about football. I'm very excited. So it's gonna be a great opportunity to be able to play on the huge stage with a lot of support from the fan base and college. So I'm just excited because like it's an amazing opportunity that I didn't have before. So I'm gonna do everything to cherish this opportunity and get after it.
I know you've been busy doing your own things, but have you been keeping up with some the recruits that are coming in and the transfers that are coming in to your future team?
Sorry, you broke up there. I couldn't hear you.
I said, I know you've been busy doing your own thing, getting through finals and all that, but have you been able to keep up with some of the transfers and the signings that Indiana's made over the last couple of days?
Yeah, I've been looking at the Twitter a little bit. I haven't really been in contact with a ton of players. I've been in contact with a couple, but mostly it's probably when I get there where I'm gonna meet most of the guys because just it's you. I text them, but at the end of the day, you don't build a relationship over text. So when I see them, I'll be able to build that relationship, and I'm sure they're great people, and I'm excited to meet them. So yeah.
Absolutely. And what about what did Coach Signetti sell you on? How did he, when he was asked, how does he sell his vision and his culture? His response was that famous, "I win. Google me." But was it just that simple? Because he was winning at James Madison. He had turned a program into a lot of people hadn't really heard of into a top 25 team.
I mean, yeah, that's definitely one of the reasons. The history he has of just having great coaching, great how do you say this? Great just culture, great culture. That's what I was looking for. Great culture of the team, very hardworking team. Always has the right guys in the building, which is very important. He recruits the right guys. Maybe they're not the highest star guys, but they're the right guys to be in there, and those guys win. Those guys will work hard. So I'm just excited. He sold me on that. Obviously, his history, all the guys, and he knows football. He's been around football for a very long time. He's very knowledgeable, and he's a coach that you want to be under just because of how knowledgeable he is about how and how much football he's coached and seen. He's been at Alabama under Nick Saban, and just that by itself, and Nick Saban commenting on him is just a big upside. And the way he has the vision for the program, the vision for me, the vision for the players, and just everything. So it's amazing.
And speaking of your vision, what is your vision of you at the next level? It doesn't even have to be. We could talk about Indiana since it's going to be there, but just your vision as yourself as a college quarterback.
I mean, my vision is probably just work. I'm gonna work my butt off every single day, and when my opportunity arises, then that's what I'm doing. It might be this year, it might be next year, it might be in 3 years. Who knows? Whenever I get my opportunity to step on the field, that's gonna be my shot, and I'm gonna be prepared to do so to put my best out there. So that's my mindset. You don't know when you're gonna play. You don't know what's gonna happen. But at the end of the day, all you can do is just prepare every day and act like you're gonna play every single game and every day. So just that's my mindset really. I'm focusing on this. He's obviously at the next level like the NFL, but I'm just gonna take one day at a time, prepare day by day, and just be ready when my name's called. So
What is the best part of your game to you? What do you think you need to work on more?
I think probably one of the best parts of my game is probably the ability to process information and being accurate with the football. Um, Obviously, you can always get better at processing information. I'm definitely not at my ceiling yet, so I definitely got to work on that still. Um, and Coach Series definitely gonna help me with that because he's done so well with just the knowledge of the game and the IQ of the game. So I'm definitely very excited to be with him, and he's going to be able to develop me in that aspect. And I think I'm a smart quarterback, so I have that. I can pick up things quickly, so I think it's going to be good for Coach Siri to be throwing things at me, taking a lot of notes and doing all that stuff. And then I like to think I'm very accurate with the football. I don't miss a lot. If you look at my film, I don't I don't miss targets. I just like there's not a lot of clips of me just missing a wide open guy. So I like to think I'm accurate. And the one thing I do think I can improve on, obviously, is processing information and probably getting a little bit quicker. I mean, I have some great running film today. This year, I hit 19.9 miles an hour because we have the little catapults in our pads. I hit it in the game, so I definitely always want to get a little bit more quicker and a little more agile. So those are definitely things. Just everything developing as a quarterback as a whole, and a coach's theory could definitely do that, and that's why I want to be in Hoosier. So yeah.
You obviously are someone that is very well spoken in not only your just as a person, but as to what you're doing. I think back to myself and when I was at your age, a senior in high school, and I'm like, I would have been an idiot in this interview. Just the knowledge, the thought, how far along that you are in that processing. Who were some of the guys you looked up to? Who were your quarterback heroes?
I really look up to Joe Burrow and I look up to my brother. Those are probably the top two. Just the way Joe Burrow battled adversity throughout college, sat, and then he had that amazing year. Just the way he persevered through that, persevered through injury, and even now persevering through injury and how he's had that success. It's just amazing to me. And yeah, he's texted me before. He texted me once actually. Um, and my brother, obviously, just the way I picked up his habits and looked how he's been successful. He's a huge mentor to me, and just I love having him there for me. So it's great.
Yeah, I know there's no way of scheduling for Indiana to be playing Cal Berkeley,
Yeah, yeah.
but how wild would it be if at some way at some point a bowl game presented that opportunity?
I mean, that would be absolutely crazy. I think all of Miami, Florida, would be out to that game wherever it is, because like I'm Cuban and there's a lot of like
Ooh.
we have a big family, so a lot of our family definitely would have 50 plus people there just to see us, because that's like a once in a lifetime thing. That would be incredible. I would be super stoked to play that game. No one would understand how excited I would be.
I can only imagine because you both are obviously achieving things at a high level. When's the last time have you been to Cuba?
I've been once when I was little. I went when I was like 12 years old. It's been pretty bad ever since, so I haven't really gone back.
You need to go back, and when you come back, you can bring me some cigars, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wasn't growing. I'm third generation. My grandparents were born in Cuba. My parents were born here, and I was.
You're good. That's
Yeah.
very awesome. And we don't hear a lot about Cuban-born players achieving at this level. How important is that for you?
I mean, it's great. My brother obviously is already. They call him the Cuban Cannon up in Cal. So it's kind of funny, but it's just good to be able to put on for my heritage, where my family's from, and be able to pave a path. So it's amazing.
Well, what are they going to call you? Man, we'll have to come up with something and leave it to the fans. Don't worry, they'll come up with plenty. But yeah, you seem like such a fun, happy-go-lucky guy, and I have to imagine that comes in very handy at being a quarterback because you have to deal with so many different situations. You talked about processing information, processing the defense, processing the coverage. I know that's what you're talking about, but for you to be talking about that and to have that knowledge shows your maturity there. But man, you're just a very relaxed individual. Just coming on here and doing the interview, I can tell how relaxed you are. Have you always been that way?
I mean, it's definitely a trait I've developed throughout high school. I've always had it a little bit, but throughout high school I've definitely developed better. Becoming a leader throughout high school the past 2 years has definitely been a big big like help to all that stuff. So learning from my brother also helped, just picking up traits that he has. So going back to sitting behind my brother, that's another thing that helps. So I've definitely developed in that aspect, and I expect to continue to develop. So the sky's the limit.
Have you communicated with any current Indiana players or any of the other quarterbacks, Tyler Cherry, Rourke, or Taven Jackson?
No, I haven't communicated with any of the quarterbacks, but a couple of the players went on my official visit. There's a kid from Miami, Florida, who's from my rival school, Miami Palmetto, Derek Bowler, that I'm pretty good friends with. So I've been talking to him a bunch. He was my host on my official visit, and some of the other guys, some of the other commits that I saw on my official visit, or the guys that came with me from JMU, I've been talking to them a bunch, like Jaja Boy, Duke, Mario. So those are some of the guys, and obviously Derek. So I've been in contact with those guys. The quarterbacks, I'm excited to meet them. I haven't met them yet, so must be spending a lot of time with them, and I'm excited to do it. So
someone asked, can you shoot the three? Because Indiana basketball can always use a 3-point shooter.
I never played basketball. I'm not an amazing basketball player. I'm okay. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can be consistent on a 3-point line. So.
Are you a basketball fan?
Yeah, I'm definitely a basketball fan. I like watching basketball. I'll be at some of the basketball games, definitely. Being that I heard it's an amazing atmosphere. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm surprised they didn't get you to come up for a game in Assembly Hall. It will be fun. And that's some of the things that you'll get to do as a student athlete. You're coming through in an era also of an unbelievable change in the college game with NIL and the transfer portal. But NIL, is that something that you think of much, or are you worried about that down the road? Or are you working on that or things? How's that going?
I mean, that's more down the road. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're a player, you're a guy, you're gonna get paid, and that's gonna be a plus of being on the field and being great on the field. That's a plus from that. So it's kind of more as when you play, you're gonna get more NIL, and that's how it worked for my brother too. So I'm not worried about that. I'm not too fixated on that. I'm just worried about being the best quarterback I can be. And like I said before, just developing to whatever. And when I get my shot to be on the field, that so be it. And I'm gonna make the most of it. So yeah.
Next year, Indiana's schedule has them. Although the divisions went away in the Big Ten this year, thank goodness. Indiana will all still play Michigan and Ohio State and Washington and at UCLA, just amongst others, Nebraska. When you put that in your mind saying, okay, next year I'm going to be on a football team that's playing against Michigan in the college football playoffs, Washington in the college football playoffs, Ohio State barely missed the playoffs, Nebraska, who was on the uprise, but a very, very famous name, all of those, UCLA in the Rose Bowl, that has to be in itself just an exciting feeling.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely very exciting. Just it's wild to think that, and I'm just gonna prepare every day to be in that situation and just get mentally prepared, physically prepared, and yeah. So it's pretty wild.
Well, Alberto, I cannot thank you enough, and I look forward to having you back on as things go further along and staying in touch with you. You're an amazing guy, and I see why you have been so successful. You have a great head on your shoulders, and obviously very, very well spoken. So you've got the intelligence to back it up. You have a brother to Cal Berkeley, so hopefully both of you got the brains, because obviously he did going to school. I'm just kidding about that. But yeah, that's awesome to see. How proud of your parents to have two kids playing Division I college football?
I mean, I'm sure they're very proud. They've expressed it. Just 2 free colleges, which is crazy to think that. And I have a little brother that's gonna work every day to get to that level too. So just it's pretty crazy. They're very proud of us, and they don't care if we play football or not. They just want us to be happy in whatever we're doing and work our butts off in whatever we're doing. So at the end of the day, those are the best parents I could ask for, because they're not forcing me to do anything. Whatever makes me happy, that's what they want me to do. So
first of all, how old is your little brother?
He's 11 years old.
Oh, so he's got a few years to be recruiting him. The last thing I was going to ask you, you talk about working hard, and you mentioned your grandparents coming over from Cuba. Is that Cuban heritage and that hard work and all that? Is that where this drive comes from, that you have to be the best quarterback you can be?
Yeah, I'm sure it comes from some genetics. My dad was a very hard worker too, so I'm sure it definitely comes from traits from my dad, my mom, and my grandparents. So that's definitely part of it. My brother's a super hard worker. I like to think I'm a hard worker, so that's probably mostly where it comes from. Just the drive to be the best at what we do.
Well, we just came up with your nickname. I knew the peeps would do it for us, and the Andy Moore Honda hotline over here commenting, and the Cuban Missile. Uh, that will resonate more with your parents. They'll understand what that means more because
I
that was an
understand. Of
actual.
course, I understand what it means. Of
Uh,
course, I understand what it means.
uh,
I know my
but
heritage.
that I like that. I really like that. That's a good one. That may be a keeper. So we get credit for that if you end up being the Cuban Missile. But I think it's going to be too late. You're going to be the Cuban Missile now, man.
It's not bad.
All right, brother. I cannot thank you enough again, Alberto, for taking time. And your parents, I know you guys are probably busy getting ready to celebrate the holidays. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Is your brother able to come home from school?
Oh, you broke up there. Sorry.
Was your brother able to come home for school? From
Yeah, he is.
school?
He's home. He's home now. Up and he's probably gonna get them back to work out together in 2 weeks or something like that. I'm already I'm gonna get back into it next week. Start lifting again. I'm doing all the little stuff right now, but just I finished my season a week and a half ago, so I'm still a little banged up. 16-week season with the bye week and camp, so we'll be working out together in the next few weeks. So it's always good. I always love working out with him because he pushes me to be the best I can be. So yeah.
Well, I can see how important it is to have a big brother in that position. That's got to be great. Last question: what was it like when you got that first ring?
It was an incredible feeling. I want to get a bull ring at Indiana. So I'm still chasing the feeling. I got one last year, got one this year. I'm fiending for rings. I need them. I need them. If I don't get them, I'm not happy. So I got to do it. I got to. It's a necessity.
That's the attitude to have, man. The Cuban Missile, Alberto Mendoza. I cannot thank you enough again. Thank you. Thank your family. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to you and your entire family. Enjoy it. And we'll see you again soon. And definitely we'll see you in Bloomington.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me on. It was an honor.
The honor's ours, Alberto. Thank you, brother. And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
All right, that's Alberto Mendoza, Indiana's one of Indiana's newest quarterbacks signed on, and wow, what a great kid! I hate calling him a kid, but an incredible conversation. When you can have a conversation like that with an 18-year-old, that shows you great maturity, just across the board. And wow, all kinds of nice little tidbits there about his brother, an older brother who is a successful quarterback. Well, that means a lot. We've got to take a break. We've got more coming up here on Indiana Sports Beat Radio on this Friday before Christmas. Back with it right after this. Well, that was fun. That was fun for Christmas. Alberto joined with me. I'll be home for Christmas to decorate the tree. I'm battling, but not rapping. Well, let me tell you, I've been out of town in Florida and it has been cold the whole damn time, but I do like the Cuban Missile. Fred, that is a good one. I like it. I'm going to I dub thee the Cuban Missile. No, they do not need winter sports in Florida, but they still play them. Cuban Missile. I'm the Cuban Missile. Google me. Yes. Yes, he is. He is going to be a success. He seems like a kid that is, I should have mentioned that his parents did a hell of a job. We are good at, or not we, Indiana is good at quarterback. I was reading this. You ain't lying, Five Lefts. I mean, just that having that conversation, you can always just tell when talking to someone where their head is, and you can't predict how well they're going to play, but he's going to give himself a shot, please. Oh man, don't challenge me, Brian. Says, oh no, don't rap. My voice is not in a rapping mode right now, that I can tell. So I won't. 2 Trailer Park Girls go round the outside. What? Oh. Mike, you missed a good one. You can go back and catch it all. They'll get it. They'll be fine. I forget his coach. He's working on it. Yes, he was. Grievances. We need grievances now. For our last segment, need grievances. Not to end on a negative note, but just a funny note. Funny grievances. How about that? How about some funny grievances? All right, we are coming back here. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio here on this Friday before Christmas Eve, before Festivus. So that makes this Festivus Eve. And for Festivus, of course, you have the feats of strength and the airing of grievances. And I've got a lot of problems with you people. What a great quote. I wish we could play that without getting dinged on a copyright. But the funniest clip from Seinfeld ever is, you have to go back and watch it on YouTube, but with the outtakes from when George gets arrested for something and his dad goes down there, it was hilarious. But yeah, what a great fun day today as we head into the Christmas break. Long weekend for a lot of people, I assume. I am looking forward to taking a few days. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be fun. Brian says his grievance is the Pacers lack anything resembling defense. Well, you kind of knew that. They're going to be a team that challenges you to outscore them. And I guess they hope that their defense gets better as it goes along. They're still a young team, so there's learning to do there. But overall, I think you got to be happy with the Pacers. So then you have the Colts, who are definitely playing beyond expectations, and they're in the deep hunt for a playoff spot. Playoffs. That's so funny because that actually has relevance to the Colts. He was the Colts coach, Jim Mora, when he said that. But yes, playoffs for the Colts. So yeah, Brian says it's not working. One game over 500. Yeah, it might not. It might not work out, but they are still a young team. Talking about the Pacers now, they're still a young team. Your star is very young, Tyrese Halliburton. So they have growth to do. They need another player, probably at least, but it's not all bad. Purdue fans have to be pretty happy. Not with their football season, of course, but I think they had a good signing class, and it'll be interesting to see what Ryan Walters can do next year, the improvement upon them. I think they won 4 games this year, 4-8, which It's the year of a coaching change, very, very difficult, losing a lot of players. Kurt Signetti going through that very thing right now, and he is not expecting to have that kind of drop off. He is expecting to have nothing but an increase. He expects to win. He expects for Indiana to be in a bowl game next year, and I think that that's very reasonable, partly because of their schedule having 8 home games, and partly because he has proven to be able to do things at places, and I don't doubt that he can do them at Indiana. How well, we'll find out. His competition is obviously going to be extraordinarily much stiffer, and the players that he goes against are going to be better than what he's used to. But I'm not saying that that matters. It comes down, a lot of stuff comes down to coaching. A lot of it comes down to coaching. The Bill Mallory era, they did not have better players than Michigan at Ohio State. Those years they beat them, but they beat them. They had other intangibles. So, man, what a great, great week it was. And looking forward to more. Tyler Cherry, one of Indiana's other signee quarterbacks, looking forward to having him on next week. And I hate that we couldn't get Todd on today to talk about last night's Indiana game and how that went. Great night for Malik Renew again, a career high, 25 points for, let's see, what was he? 10 of 16 from the field, perfect 4 of 4 behind the arc, 1 of 1 at the free throw line. Malik Renew continues to be boxed in. He's going to have to find a way to free himself. He's going to have to find a way to deal with these junk defenses the teams are going to throw at him, because I promise you, it's not going to change until he's able to show he can get past that, especially once they get into Big Ten play. That's a recipe for Indiana that hasn't changed much, but a guy like Malik Renew can change that, because he is also a big threat. You add in someone like Xavier Johnson, who can keep the offense rolling, and that changes things drastically, makes things much faster and more difficult for the defenses to keep up with. Let's see. They're over. The chat mob's having a conversation about Pacers and who they want to trade. So I'm staying out of that conversation. It's too late. But let's see. What are you looking forward to this weekend? Sports on the docket. There should be some good games to be had. There's tons of bowl games, of course. I haven't watched a single bowl game yet. Where are you signed up for the college football bowl mania for the Indiana Sports Beat portion of that? I haven't checked my scores yet, because I know that there's not a ton of bowls. So I'm like, it's not worth even looking at. So I haven't looked at it. But if you are, you can check that out. Of course, last night, number 9 Kentucky easily gets by Louisville 95-76. The Pacers lose to the Grizzlies 116-103. Indiana over North Alabama 83-66. The Indiana women play at 6:00 tonight at home against Bowling Green. So for those of you in and around the Bloomington area, you can catch the Indiana women's number 16 women's team with a 9-1 record taking on Bowling Green. Then number 15 Louisville women's program is at USC, and that is on 12/27. Purdue getting a win as well, 100-57. So lots going on in that. NCAA football coming up. Last night, the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl. Texas Tech gets the win there. Old Dominion loses to Western Kentucky at overtime. San Antonio beats Marshall 35-17. South Florida blanks Syracuse 45-0. Coming up on Saturday, you've got Troy and Duke, Arkansas State, Northern Illinois, James Madison at Air Force, or against Air Force, Georgia State, Utah State, South Alabama. Kane Womack playing in a bowl game against Eastern Michigan on the 23rd. Northwestern plays that day as well against Utah. So there's some good games there. Plenty more, but we'll talk about next week when we return. And looking forward to everybody having a wonderful, safe, happy holiday weekend. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Merry Festivus, Happy Festivus, all of that and more. I cannot thank each and every one of you sincerely for being with us. It means the world, and we wouldn't have a reason to be here without you. Big thanks to my man Bob Kravitz, wishing him a happy Hanukkah. Zach Osterman could not be with us today. Big, huge shout out to Alberto Mendoza, the Cuban Missile, as we have now dubbed him. And John returns when we come back next week after the holiday break. And we'll have a great lineup as always. Make sure you stay tuned to Indiana Sports Beat's YouTube channel for content that we'll be putting up over the holidays, so you can keep up with that as well. But that's going to wrap it up. Keep it tuned to 1380 The Fan. The Sports Rush is after us here. Other than that, this is Jim Coyle. Merry Christmas, and I will see you on the radio.